A temporary solution for this damaged pipe is to glue a piece of pipe larger than the hole inside of the pipe, and then glue a larger pipe over the hole. To make use of this old oil filter, we can remove the cap and take out the base plate. Then we can separate the two plates and grind off any excess metal. Now we'll weld screws to the plate, adding notches into the screws. Now we can attach this to our angle grinder. And now we have a very rough sanding disc to remove large amounts of material from wood. It's better to fasten a rope with a couple of washers than just a screw by itself. Before attaching wires to a screw, be sure to bend the wire around the screw before tightening. Plastic anchors are not very effective when installed into concrete or brick. A more secure option would be to use metal anchors. To fasten these two strips of wood together with a single wire, try this. With a loop on one end, pass a screwdriver through the loop and wrap the two loose ends of the wire together. Then clip off any excess wire. To create a brace for these two pipes, we'll first get a measurement using this piece of cord. Now we'll cut this threaded rod to the same length of the cord. Next, we'll mark the halfway point on the rod. And then we'll bend the threaded rod around the PVC pipe at the halfway point. We'll then secure the rod in a vise and bend it in half one more time. Now we can attach this to our pipes and secure everything with a metal bracket. To connect these pairs of wires together, we'll use a wire stripper to remove the plastic and then wrap one wire end around the middle of the wire using pliers to help. We'll then wrap the wires with electrical tape to seal everything up. This knot is called a surgeon's knot. We'll do 2 twists on the bottom and 1 on top. To make sure we join these boards together at a right angle, we can create a guide. We'll cut off a corner of plywood that has a 90-degree angle. We'll attach 2 small boards along its edge. Now we can clamp our boards onto our guide to ensure that they're installed at 90 degrees. For our next project, we'll be building an adjustable block for our vise. We'll start by cutting out a circle using this hole saw drill bit. Then we can sand off the sides and edges. Now we'll drill a larger hole in the center using a drill press. We'll pass a bolt through this hole, and then we'll cut out a square, drill a hole in its center, and install a T-nut. Now when we secure things into our vise, we can use this adjustable block to match the thickness of our piece. For our next project, we'll be building a very rudimentary gardening tool. We'll start by bending this rebar with 2 bends like so, and remove the excess with an angle grinder. We'll be attaching this rebar onto this pole, so we'll make some grooves on the end. Next, we'll drill holes into both ends of the rebar. Now we can attach the rebar to the pole with the help of a metal clamp. We'll also need clamps to secure our wires in place. We'll remove the nails and use these rivets. Now we can pass the wire through the rivets and through the holes in the rebar on both sides. Crimp the wire to the clamps and then hammer the clamps into the holes. This gardening tool will help us remove weeds. To remove a broken bolt, try welding a nut to it and then unscrewing it with a wrench. We can cut out this PVC pipe into a long, thin shape like so. From here, we'll glue a cap and a dropper to the top of the PVC pipe. When we're done, we want to make sure that the bottle still fits. Fill the bottle with water. And now we can use this as a low-tech watering system. To glue these two boards together edgewise, we can install some dowels. Start by hammering a nail into a scrap piece of wood. Now press the two pieces of wood together with the nail in between. We can use these markings to drill holes for our dowels. Now we'll apply wood glue to the edges and insert the dowels. It should be a perfect fit. To make sure these two wires don't slip, we'll need a more secure way to fasten them. We'll wrap the first wire back in the other direction, and then use the second wire to fold it back on itself for extra support. To install a switch on this light bulb, we'll demonstrate a few different methods. First, we'll pass the wire through a single switch. As you can see, the light turns on and off like normal. But what if we installed two switches? Although the wiring is a little bit more complicated, once everything is properly connected, the light will only turn on when both switches are in the on position. Driving screws into wood can be a bit difficult if the screw is long enough. We can add a bit of WD-40 to make the job easier. To fasten these two pieces of wood together, we'll drill two pilot holes at a 45-degree angle. Then we'll install wood screws to secure the post. If our outlet's hanging too loose, we can add pieces of scrap wood into the outlet box to better secure the outlet. Now when we reinstall the outlet plate, it doesn't budge. We can use some steel wire to wrap around this tubing to secure it to this fitting. Wrap the wire with the screwdriver until the excess falls off. For our next DIY project, we'll be making a claw rake. We'll start by cutting some rebar. We'll cut 6 pieces, with the last one being longer than the rest. Sharpen the tips on the 5 and then weld them together at the base. Now we'll place this in the vise and bend each tine to a 90-degree angle. Then we'll weld our last piece onto the end. We'll use our lathe to give our rake a nice wooden handle. If regular nails won't hold this board down, try using rivet nails. If the vinyl starts to come off of this MDF, just use a bit of hot glue and then press it down with a block of wood. Our Wi-Fi signal isn't as strong as we'd like it to be. We can cut open this can of soda and flatten it out. Then place it behind the antenna for better reach. If we need to inflate this air mattress, we can use an industrial vacuum cleaner to help us out. We'll install the hose on the opposite side so that it blows air. And in case the hose doesn't fit to the mattress, we can use this old adhesive tube to make an attachment. Tape the tube to the vacuum hose and then connect it to the mattress. Now we just let the vacuum pump in the air. Our jigsaw has a fan that creates a bit of air. Using this plastic fitting, we can direct the air down to the front of the blade to keep the dust from getting stuck inside of the blade. Our next project is a stand for fishing poles. We'll need a PVC pipe and some foam tubing. We'll mount the PVC pipe onto the bottom of the stand. Then we'll attach the foam tubing just above it. Now we can place our fishing poles just like so. If we need to attach these two pipes at a right angle, we can use a pair of scissors to act as a compass to give us a rough guide where to cut. It should look something like this before, and it should look like this after the pipe's been cut. A little trick to keeping pizza a bit warmer on the drive home is just to turn on the seat warmers. You can use a binder clip in cases where you've lost the plastic cover to prevent the razor from accidentally making any cuts. To prevent this board from splitting, you'll want to drill a pilot hole beforehand. You can do this by drilling a bit in reverse. We can use this piece of plastic to ensure clean cuts with our jigsaw. We'll attach the plastic shield to the bottom of our jigsaw using some double-sided tape. Now when we make our cuts, the wood doesn't chip. Try flipping the wrench after every turn for maximum leverage. If we want to cool down a can of soda a bit faster, we can wrap a few napkins around the can, and then wet the napkins, and then place it in the freezer. After about 30 minutes, our soda will be nice and cold.